Hi Manoj, welcome to Greyscape Coimbatore. Now we are on live. You can start the session.
Okay. Thanks, Kanan, for inviting me. So I'm Manoj. So I work as a UX design intern at Ajira Tech. So today we are going to talk about UX 101, User Experience 101. So let me share my screen. Yeah. Kanan, please. Okay. Please make the screen. Okay, then. Yeah. So yeah, hope the screen is visible. And am I audible? Kanan, am I audible? And the screen is visible?
Yeah, Manoj, you're audible and the screen is perfectly visible.
Yeah, okay. So let me start the session. So it's all about user experience 101. So anyone who wants to shift their career to UX, or a student who wants to know more about user experience, or any experienced people from other domains who want to know the importance of UX. So this session is for them. You can follow me on Instagram, manux124, and Twitter at mangrowth. So this Manoj, and I love community and UX design. I write blogs, read books, and manage communities. So I have my own blog, so it's known as Learn to Grow by Manoj. Yeah. So let me start the session. So first, we'll see like what is design. So design is everywhere, right? From the shoes you are wearing, from the dress you are wearing, from how do you do things particularly. So everything is design basically. From all the things that you do in your day-to-day life has been designed by someone. So according to organization, every company, every team has their own understanding of what design is and what the role of the designer should be. So within the UX field, so there are a lot of specializations in design, ranging from interaction design, visual design, information architecture, and much more. But UX nowadays acts as discipline for the design field. Design is no longer seen as just creating UI elements or products experiences. So there's a broader understanding in the industry of what design is. Design can influence the experience a user has with all of the company and its touch points. It's not about only the experience with the product. It's from starting from the brochure or the brand logo till the end, till the customer support, all the touch points, even the employee experience, designing everything and creating an impact in the mind of users. So why nowadays? Why what people think is design is only about like drawing or making something colorful. No, it's not just about making things appealing or just about usable or just about delight. It's about taking products from being usable to delightful and then beyond meaningful. So design is a way for us to deliver deep meaning to our customers, the end users, through the experiences we craft. We must strive to elevate the value we deliver to a customer, a basic or a functional one. So, with design, we deliver the pleasure and delight, and we provide the deep meaning or the deep value or the solution what the end user is looking for with the help of design. So it involves forming a concept or an idea to create things that add value to people's life. So there are a lot of ideas. So to bring them to life, to bring them to solve a user's problem, we design the solution. Next, okay. So I'm a developer. So I'm a management guy. I'm a marketer. Why should I choose design? So to enjoy challenges of visual communication and solving users' real problems, you want in fun and creative industry. So you get a lot of opportunities that you can make decisions in the feature prioritization or the type of layout or what features to bring in for users. You love spending time on design websites, magazines, and books. Then you're good to go. What are the various fields in design? So design has various fields. Some of them interior design, multimedia design, fashion design, jewelry design, animation design, UI design. So these are all the existing fields which we know. Like interior design is about architecture and how the buildings are built. Multimedia design is designing for social media. Fashion design is the clothes designing of clothes. Jewelry design is how good the jewels, the gold, diamond, and all. Animation design is about creating cartoon characters, etc. But all of these have a common discipline, that is experience, the user experience. Anything you design, if it delivers a positive and good experience to the user, then only it's a useful product or a useful design. Next, why? Why UX design? So why should I go with UX design? So the time spent on digital products and higher conversions and ROI. So nowadays we see there are a lot of digital products and we spend most of our time in digital products. So first, when I want to buy something, I would go out to a shop and buy it. But nowadays I have Amazon, I have Flipkart, I have eBay, everything. So I shop from there. I want to order food. I have Swiggy, Zomato. So most of the time I spend on digital products or to satisfy my needs or to solve my problems. So like more than 11 hours we use digital products according to the research conducted. So when you are using some product for a longer time, it should have a good attachment and it should deliver a good experience. If it delivers a good experience, then only you will use the product again and again. For example, you buy a particular product at Amazon, and it's very easy to buy a product at Amazon. So in case if you need any other product tomorrow, you'll come back to Amazon and buy it. As a result, it increases higher conversions and ROI. Think of another scenario. You buy your first product at Amazon and you feel it's very difficult and you face any error. So what would happen? The person would not come again to buy the product. As a result, they are losing a lot of conversion rate. So this person may buy a bunch of products in the upcoming days. So this is all about why UX design is important. And also it's a buzzword in today's life. And many of the companies have started investing on UX design who build products without knowing about UX. Okay, then let's get to know about what is UX design. So what is UX all about? So UX is much more than usability. It needs to pay attention on all the needs of the users, ranging from why the problem is, taking it to the end user's needs. So it's about designing products with keeping users in mind. So it follows the approach known as user-centric approach. So here like everything has been experience for us, a good experience or bad experience. So uh, all of them is crafted by a UX designer for us. So what does trying to define UX according to Don Norman? So Don Norman says user experience encompasses all aspects of the end user's interaction with the company, its services, and its product. So it's all about your experience or your touch point with a particular product. It may be a hardware product or a software product. For example, you use a MacBook Pro or iPhone. The level of feeling, the pride it gives to you is different. So there are two type of values a product delivers. One is the objective value and another one is a subjective value. So both of these values have been created if they have a good UX. So objective value is everyone has the same needs. So for example, consider a smartphone. So iPhone, I use iPhone for using apps, calling others, etc. But what's the subjective value? Subjective value is different for different people. Some may buy iPhone for a brand. So like, oh, I like the brand very much, so it gives me a price. And some may buy it for the finished design. So this is subjective value. Let's say what Steve Jobs says about UX. So CX. So UX has been evolved to CX. That's about experience of the customer. You've got to start with the CX and work back towards the technology, not the other way around. So like how people build products is first they build the product and then think about UX. So it's a bad thing, right? So you put the solution and then start thinking whether the solution would be correct or not. So first only you have to finalize whether the solution is correct or not. Then only you should go ahead of implementing that solution. That's all is that UX helps you in. Why is it so important? So in past, when we think of design, It's all about good design and aesthetics. So by nowadays, why people go to computer or mobile again? Because of the experience they get in from that. So we see there are a lot of people who have been like addicted to digital devices or some type of games because it's because of the experience that the particular product provides. What does Tim Cook say? Most business models have focused on self-interest instead of user experience. So yeah, they focused on their core value. For example, they think this is a problem, they solve it, but they don't think about the end user who are gonna use it. That's the place of the UX in the business or any company. So the place of the UX is in between the business goals, user needs, and the technology. So how? For example, let's take Airbnb. So Airbnb is has a very good user experience and a very good design. So what are the business goals of Airbnb? Is to promote offers like hotel offers and all. What are the users' needs? So how is it easy for them to book a hotel or a room? What's the technology? So technology is about the back end, front end, and what type of technology is used. So on all the three things, the UX design plays a major role and acts as a decision authority. So for example, promoting the offers. So it should be easily visible to the user and he should be able to easily find it. So the flow of the product should be made in such a way that the business goal and the user needs both are met. Okay. Let's get to know about the design process. So every company has their own design process. So Double Diamond is the most common design process, which I'm going to explain you now. So it's while designing physical or digital products, we use some kind of process. Okay. So that process is known as design process. There are a lot of design process available, and even you can frame your one if it's successful for you. So some of the existing ones are. So it's not about reinventing the wheel. So if something is successful, we can use it. Okay. So the first one is the problem. So what's the problem? So first we identify the problem. It may be a business problem like existing problem or a new problem. So people get confused here. So they think like UX is only when a product is being developed at start. It's not about when the product has been developed or well established. No, there's always a scope of improvement for every product in the world. So it may be a business problem like sales is going down, or it may be a user's problem like users are not able to log in or able to find something, for example. Then we discovered. So these two lines are diverged. So it's about divergent thinking we do. So we discover all the possibilities and we think in all aspects from users aspect, tech aspect, business aspect, we discovering all the aspects. So here we discover more about the problem or all the possible needs that can be addressed with the product. Whether it's really a problem or it's just a symptom which can be. So let's see. There's a lot. There's less sales. So why there's less sales? People are not interested in the brand. So it may be even a PR issue. Excuse me. Yeah. Next is define. We define the problem. So here we diverge. Again, we are going to converge it. So we think in all aspects. We start in all aspects of what the reason of the problem is or what's the root of the problem. After discovering, we identify the original root of the problem that we are defining now. What's the main problem you are going to solve? For example, the loss of sales. So the sales has been decreased. It may be due to the advertisement. So the advertisement is not trending. So even that may be a problem. First, we define the problem here now with convergent thinking. Then we develop. In this stage, we develop solutions and iterate. There may be more than one solution. Okay. So for every problem, so there may be alternative solutions. So there may be even one solution, two solutions. So again, we do divergent thinking where we explore all the possible solutions and we choose the best one and deliver it. So that deliver is again converging it. So it's about delivering the solution. So mostly what happens in a design process is first we get the problem brief from the stakeholder or the user. Then we do the interview with the stakeholders and users and understand their needs. Then we analyze all the info that we got from the problem brief and the discussion we did with users and stakeholders. Then, at last, with all the data we have in our hands, we do ideation and prototyping. So here we put up all the ideas we have in our hand and we draw out them. We do a low fidelity sketching and then high fidelity. Then we prototype it. Then we make a design and then as a result we test this with user. This is a normal scenario that happens. Okay. The most popular question we have, like UX versus UI. So UX is all about the interaction and the experience that the users have with the company's product. UI is about the specific asset the users interact with. For example, UI is just the visual aspect of the product. UX is about the experience, the functionality of the product, how easy for you how easy is for you to use the product. UI involves aspects like the visual design, maintaining the brand identity, choosing the type of colors like warm colors are there, choosing the typography. So, for example, it's a professional brand. We should choose only professional typography. So, if it's a trendy brand, we should use a trendy typography or a stylish one. So, this and all involves around UX, UI. UX is about solving the core of the problem. UI is about visualizing the problem. So here's a simple diagram that says, so UX involves the interaction design. So what and all the interactions the people do. For example, so there are a lot of different jobs in design. So one is a UX designer and one other is a UI designer, which I told. So next one is the interaction designer. So they'll be mostly from a human computer interaction background. So we focus on simplifying the interaction and what are the actions to perform. For example, the YouTube search is a best example. So whether you search on a mobile phone or whether you search on a desktop or whether you search on a TV, a smart TV, you have the same experience and you are easy to do that. Even the search and action play, it's all about the interaction designer's work. Next is the user researcher. So you see user research. So they advocate for users in front of the clients and stakeholders. They conduct research and reports. So they conduct interviews with users. They conduct surveys. They gather data. And from this data, we get some patterns with which we know that this is really a problem or not, or the users have a new problem that requires a new feature in our product. Next is the information architecture. So this kind of information architect, this role has been hired by many top companies like Amazon. So mainly they do organize content easily. For example, in Amazon, grouping products into categories like what should come first and not. So you go to Amazon and search for any product. It's very easy for you to search. Even the search experience and even the navigation design. Like you can just go on electronics, then go to mobile, and you can choose the mobile brand you want easily. Next, you have the content designer who designs contents like illustrations. So graphic designer comes here too. So yeah, here's the scenarios. Scenarios is like telling the user story in terms of a scenario. Like for example, how the user comes to our product. So the story starts from the user Google search for buying a product. He found our website. He came inside our website. He logged in. So the entire process is like is mapped in terms of story maps and scenarios. Okay, so the next one is the UI design. So the UI design consists of the visual design, like how the product looks, the colors, the graphic design who does assets, who creates assets for us like icons, illustrations, logos, etc. The layout of the product, the typography of the product, as I told you. Next, this is a very important thing, guys. So yeah, what is good UX all about? What is good UX all about? So when the product is usable, so how easy is for me to use the product? So how easy is to use? Aesthetically appealing. Looks nice. It's not about looking very attractive. It confuses the user. Looks nice. Delights. So delights is all about it gives you something that you don't expect it, but you're looking for that. So it's like a surprise gift for you. And the important thing, product that guides the user automatically. Think of any scenario like on nowadays, like owning a laptop or operating a mobile. You just they give you a user guide, but do you use it? No, because they have been built in such a way that this is a power button and this is a main button, and this has been used to navigate with gestures and all. So it's about the UX that the product has built, and for example, you can operate it without any guidance or manual. So that kind of product is that's known as a product with a good user experience. Okay, some of the big concepts you should remember. First one, yeah. So the first one is you are not the user. So many designers do this mistake. They say that I don't like this color. They say I don't like this text. I like this one. I like this one very much. So you should remove this you or I when you are designing it. So it's all about you test it with user. You don't put your personal opinion while you are designing a product, because that may lead to a failure or something like that. And users are humans, so they are not robots. So for example, you think like he'll come here, he'll click on this, he'll go here. So users are like normal humans, even they think and they work. So it should be designed in such a way that you're designing for humans and not for robots. And users are not domain experts. For example, you're designing an app for stock market. So all the users come, like normal users also come and invest on stocks. Not all are stock market experts. So you design the app in such a way that only the stock market experts can understand it. Then that's a useless thing. So you should design in such a way that the normal users find it easy to find like what are all the companies stocks are available and what is their performance. So some of the good apps that you can see, Zeroda is there. There are many other apps that have a good user experience, Paytm Money. So these are some examples. So users are not domain experts. And while also, so this is a popular concept that has been used in most of the payment apps, the wallet apps like Paytm, Phone Pay, Google Pay. So it's very easy for you to transfer the money. You just open the app, just click on the contact and pay the money you want, or you just open the QR code, scan it, pay the money. So it's very simple. So users are not domain experts, even though they don't have knowledge about how UPI works. They are easily able to use it, right? So as a result, it finally addresses the problem of users of paying with digital money. Okay. So yeah, I want this to be a very introductory session. So I'm covering most of the basics of UX. So this is the very important concept in UX. So it's known as honeycomb of UX. So there are seven key factors of user experience. They are okay, useful, usable, findable, credible, desirable, accessible, valuable. Okay, so these are very, very important concepts. So once you build a product, you should evaluate your product in this way. First one, useful. Okay, useful. What does useful mean? So it provides a purpose to a target customer. If a product has no purpose, it's unlikely to be able to compete the attention. For example, you just build an app for booking roller coasters. So that's not even needed. So am I going to book a roller coaster daily? No, right? So that's not. So whether it addresses a need or not. Next, usable. So the next concept is usable. So it enables users to effectively and efficiently achieve the end objective they want. So I want to buy a cloth online. So that's my end objective. So whichever product will help me to achieve it more easily and efficiently, I will go to that website and buy. So product can succeed if they are not usable, but they are much less likely to do so. Product cannot succeed if they are not usable. So basically, this gives you upper hand on competitive advantage, safer and comfort to use. Next, findable. So this is a very, very important thing. Products must be able to easily find digital products like websites or apps. So this concept has to be used mainly in the landing pages. You go to a landing page, the landing page should say you what the user should do. Okay. It should say like what the user, what you want the user to do in the landing page. So it should guide the user. If the user is confused, so it's not findable. The same goes with e-commerce. For example, you go to e-commerce and you want the user to easily find products, and you go to a OTT platform. You want them to easily find what they want. So I want to watch a recently released Hindi movie. So how do I find it? So I go on the new movies or recent movies or the trending. So for example, in Z5 and Hotstar, I get all the things in the carousel. So it's easy for me to find the thing. Next, credible, a very, very important factor of a good UX. Why credible? Okay, you may ask, like, credible. Credible means something creating trustworthy app. The ability of the user to trust your product. For example, the payment apps like Paytm, PhonePe, or Google Pay, if they are not trustable, they don't look for you like, oh, they will take our money. So is it safe to invest my money there? So is it safe to transfer money? Whether the money will get transferred or not, or whether it will bounce back, or someone will steal it. If I get this kind of feelings, I'll not use that particular payment app. So it should provide me a sense of trust. Like I can trust this app and do transactions. It's nearly impossible to deliver a good UX if the UX if the UX designer thinks and lies to the end user with a bad intention. You should not lie like the product is. You should not make fake promises in the product or the design. That may lead to loss of lot of money. Once, for example, a particular user finds that you are making false promise. For example, like Google Pay, you'll get scratch cards and you don't get any scratch cards, or you always get better luck next time. Means I lose hope on Google Pay. Like it made a fake promise, right? And the trust of people, it will lose the trust of people. As a result, the all other transactions I'll be going to do, I'll do it in another UPI app like Amazon Pay or Paytm. So that's a normal example. And also ensure the product is up to the promise. So that comes under credible. Next is desirable. So what does desirable mean? So I have a lot of desires. It's not about that. It's about conveying true branding, image, identity, aesthetic, and emotional design. You see all the Google products have the same kind of feel because they all are having the same kind of feel. Use Gmail or use Google Chat or anything. All have a same kind of feel that they give you. So that's about desirability, maintaining the brand. So you see the product, you say like this one is a product of Google, is a product by Google. The more desirable the product is, the users will make the users will use it. For example, Skoda versus Boost is a very good example. And next is accessible. So it's a very, very important thing to keep in mind. Half of the people here, developers or designers, they don't think about accessibility. So accessibility means developing or building products for everyone, like everyone in the sense like people who are visually impaired, disabled people, or motion loss. But this most businesses eliminate these people because they think they are only a particular person and they are not gonna bring in a value. But this is against the UX ethics. And most of the governments, like in UK, US, have rules that if your product is not accessible, you'll be charged. Like you'll be charged. You should be able to pay a fine. So in case, like, what does this accessibility mean? For example, you should have the ability screen reader. So you should put all tag everywhere so that visually impaired person comes, he should be able to hear about what the things on the screen with the help of the screen reader, right? So this is a very good example. When you design for accessibility, you often find that you create products that are easier for everyone. Don't neglect accessibility in the user experience. So it is a very bad thing. For example, your product is not usable by someone, and it's very. I may give a very good example for this accessibility. So MRI scan. So the MRI scan founder, whoever founded built it, had kept it in the Stanford University. And what happened is one day he suddenly visited a normal visit to Stanford University, and he saw that there was a small girl who was crying because the doctor wanted her to have a checkup with the MRI scan, but she was very crying that the doctor gave her injection, anesthesia injection to put her in the MRI scan. So this guy who founded this MRI scan was observing all of these things and was very sad. Oh, for using my product, a child has to put injection and then go to that. So it's not accessible for her. So he went back. He designed the product. He just changed how the product looks. So he changed it according to a child. And next time he gave that to the hospital. And like now all the children were very happy to go into this because it looks like some cartoonish thing. So this is about desirable. Next, the most and very important thing, it's a core concept that is valuable. All are there, and you don't deliver any value. The app looks very nice, the app accessible, but the app doesn't deliver any value or solve any problem of your user. So it's useless. So deliver value to the business and to the customer. So the product can provide different value to different users. The value factor is really the sum of all the different factors combined together. Right. So for example, I may use Amazon only for buying books, and some may use Amazon only for buying groceries. So all these things, so they provide some kind of value to all the different audience, right? Yeah. Yes. So next, the most important thing is the heuristic principle. So what are heuristics? So I told you, right, what a good UX is. The product should be easily usable. The product should guide itself. The product should look simple and nice for the user to use it. So all these things, heuristics, can can only be checked with all these principles. It's important for the product to be usable. So this usability can be checked using heuristic evaluation. So these are the 10 principles by Jacob Nielsen. So these are commonly known as heuristic principles or Nielsen's heuristic principles. Let me explain one by one. Although you are a designer or a developer or a marketer, you can just take your product in, and you can step by step check each of these principles has been matched or is satisfying in your product. So the first one is visibility of the system status. Always provide feedback about users' action and tell users what's going on. Okay. Match between system, for example, for this is Pinterest. So Pinterest, while onboarding users, it has a very good onboarding experience. It tells what's going on in the meanwhile when the screen is loading. So most of the products just leave like a loading thing, but they don't tell like what's happening. So recently I ordered to like food ordering apps. They show some quotes that are really interesting, some healthy quotes. Next, match between the system and the real world. Everything is derived from nature and the real world. So you have to match with that thing. So speak the language of the user to use things that people already know. Don't reinvent the wheel. For example, shopping cart is the same shopping cart icon in all the e-commerce sites. You don't put a very new icon that users don't know what is it, because people already recognize that shopping cart is something that looks like this. So that's a real concept, a real icon derived from the real world. Next, user control and freedom. Give users control over the entire process and give the freedom, like whatever they want to do. Like if they want to undo a particular action which they have already done, if they want to redo a particular action which they have already done, you should give that thing. For example, you entered the details and you found that you want to change a particular item, you can go and change it. You thought you want to delete the entire entry, you you should be able to do it. If the product doesn't give you this control and freedom, then there's some problem there. So the best examples for having a very good user control and freedom is Mailchimp and YouTube. So YouTube, you can see like, so it has a user control, the progress bar. Like you can just hover over it and see like, what is a particular frame that's visible in that particular time frame, the picture or the video that's gonna come. So YouTube progress bar is the best example for that. Consistency and standard. So the product should follow consistency and standard throughout all its screens. So you see, like you go from one screen of YouTube or one screen of YouTube to another screen of YouTube, you see the same styles or the same consistency or the same theme. So that's very important. You see, like in the first screen, the video player is different, and in the second screen, when you start playing, it's something different. You see a different navigation bar. So this relates to a lot of confusion. So this can easily solve by using design system. So design systems are a list of components which consist of all the things like the type of icon, the type of components you are going to use, the type of cards, the text box, all the small components, even the notification badges. So in terms of developer language, you see Bootstrap, right? So Bootstrap is like a design system. So you use Bootstrap everywhere. You just change its color. So similar to that, Apple has its human interface guidelines, and Udacity has its Veritas design system. Google has material design. Next is the very important error prevention. So prevent people from making errors. So the most common thing is before you are gonna delete anything in an email, it shows like you want to delete it surely, or before sending an email, it tells like, do you want to send it, and it gives the option to you that you can stop sending it before 30 seconds. Recognition rather than recall. It's always easy to recognize things that we already know instead of recalling it. So use similar things, like the cart example is better one. So the best one would be the YouTube search and the Gmail. So most of them have a similar kind of search. Flexibility and efficiency of use. So what is it? So it should be easy for new users, and it should not be like the boring for existing users. So for beginner users, you should give them the flexibility, like they should go step by step. And for the well experienced users, you should provide them the ability so that they can go faster instead of going step by step. So the most common advantage is like we use mouse, right? We just right click on it, then click on copy, and left click on it, then click on copy and paste it. But what advanced users or the keyboard users do? Control C and Control V. And even in design tools like Sketch, to draw a rectangle, you go to rectangle and choose the rectangle tool and draw it. But what advanced users do? They know Control plus R. GitHub. So GitHub is a popular advantage. So most of the beginner users use the visual GitHub desktop and all, but what the advanced users use the command line for that purpose, right? So they use the command line. They do things faster. Aesthetic and minimal design. It's not about your design should look very colorful, very attractive, but not delivering any value or confusing the user. Like when you see the design and it's like, wow, it's very nice, but I don't know what to do. So it's a waste of everything. So it should be a minimal design, and it should also make the user's attention to the CTA or the call to action that you want the user to do, or what helps user to solve their problem. Examples would be Google and Uber. Okay, the ninth one, help users recognize, diagnose, and recover from errors. So users should be able to recognize from errors, and users should be able to find what error is happening and how to uh, solve that error. Or once if they have made that error by mistake, they should be able to come back, recover from that error. So like we see in some of the windows, the error comes like your system has an error X00142135. What's it? I don't understand system code. So I told, right, users are humans, are not robots. So we should just give the exact error message. That's very important. Next, help and documentation. So I told like users should be able to use product without any documentation. So it's a but having a documentation is also very very important. So in case if you want to do any complex operation, you can refer the documentation and easily do it. So GitHub provides users to help create pull requests. So it's mostly used by beginners, the documentation, and provides helps to users. So onboarding thing, the onboarding help and documentation. So these are all very helpful. Next, a complex idea or a complex problem can be solved simple with design, but only when UX and UI are together. Okay, let's see what's the mindset of a UX designer. Love to learn. I like to explore things and I want to be a lifelong learner. So that should be a mindset of a UX designer. Okay, so let's see what is the job opportunities of UX. So UX is growing. So you see some numbers, okay? So 1 is to 25. So 25 indicates the number of developers and 1 indicates the number of UX designers. So at Atlassian, the number of UX designers, the ratio of UX designers and developers is 1 is to 25. In 2017, it's 1 is to 9. In 2022, it may be 1 is to 4. In IBM, 2012, it was 1 is to 72. In 2017, it's 1 is to 8. In 2022, it's 1 is to 6. In LinkedIn, it was 1 is to 11, very less. 2017, 1 is to 8. And 2022, it may be 1 is to 6. So you see that the opportunities are growing. For example, in 2012, Atlassian would hire only one UX designer. In 2017, he may hire three. In 2022, he would be hiring six. So it's a very high. So see the growth. It's exponentially growing. So what are the different things I can start studying UX design? So this is the best and the best book. So because it's written by Don Norman, who is known as the father of UX design. So it's more than any course or any nano degree or any boot camp. It teaches you everything in UX design, and it makes you a great observer and designer. And by reading this book, I've seen like there are many people who have been change their profession, change their career from any development to design by reading this book. Don't Make Me Think by Steve Krug is a very nice thing. So it tells about like you should not make users think, and they should be able to easily handle your product. Smashing UX design is a very good one. Information architecture, mobile first web form design by Luke, Lean UX by Jeff Gothard and Joe Seiden, Practical Empathy by Indy Young, Just Enough Research by Erica Hall. It's all about user research. Designing for Emotion by Aaron Walter, Business Model Generation by Alexander Osterwald, Rework. So if you are a startup owner or if you are a UX designer, or if you want your thoughts to be changed to a very mature level, I think I would refer this book. These are some of the blogs you can follow or the magazines you can follow in. Okay, what is the future and present of UI UX design? Conversational interfaces, the interfaces that perform tasks for users automatically by voice, strong push of AI. So AI in UX will come. Voice interaction design, designing for AR and VR, the spatial world, designing experiences, designing for different spaces. Now we design for screens like 1080 pixel and we design for small screen. But future will be most of the in many foreign companies this technology has been evolving where you can use a digital device without any presence. Like in the wall, you have a big screen, so you'll be designing for the different spaces for a room. In a room, the room gets converted into a computer for you. You can just pick your hand, take a folder, and put it in the recycle bin, and it does it automatically. So you'll be designing for different spaces in the future. So thank you. If you have any questions, you can find me at LinkedIn, or you can mail me at growwithmanoj@gmail.com.
Hi Manoj, I think it's a great session from your side. I think we have one question from the FV. I like to join as a UI UX designer in some companies, but I don't know how to leash them. Do you have any suggestions for these newly guys? How can we those guys can leash these companies?
Okay.
Hello.
So
Yeah.
yeah, to answer SV's question, so I like to join as a UI. Okay. So the first thing you have to do, if you have to take a problem in hand, like then you have to do a case study. So the first step in a case study is first you have to validate a problem, whether it's really a problem or not. So like whether it's really a problem that people have it or it's not a problem. So I told, right, developing a app, designing app for booking a roller coaster. So that's not even required for me. Okay. So first you have to validate the problem. So how to validate a problem? So for example, I watch a lot of movies. Okay. So now I'm watching a movie and I face some problem in the search experience of the movie, or I wanted to add some new features. Like when I watch more and more movies, I get rewarded like that. So I ask some of the other movie or heavy OTT users. So if I ask 10 people and that 10 people also, from the 10 people, if more than 5 people wanted that feature, then that's really a problem to take and design the interface. So, so as I said, then you do a user research. You find like what are the needs of the customer, then map it to goals. Like what's the feature that would be useful to add. Then put the low fidelity wireframe, sketch it. Then do a high fidelity prototype. Then check with the same type of users, do a testing, and if they find it any difficulty, then redesign it, reiterate it, and you'll have a complete case study in your hand. With that case study, you can start applying for jobs. I think there are a lot of freshers who like companies are hiring, even though they are not from a bachelor of design background.
Yeah, Manoj, I think you
I'm
have answered
doing
it
this.
pretty well good. Yeah, we have another question from the girl. I think she was Lavanya. She was from the Tanjavur College. I think she don't know how to start his career in UI UX. Can you share here any roadmap for her? I think it's better useful everyone watching the live because if you share any blogs or videos related to the complete roadmap for the UX, I think it's better, much useful for everyone.
Okay, sure. So the first thing I could tell them is there are a lot of blogs about UX design, like uxdesign.cc, uxplanet.org. So that acts as a good place to start learning about UX. So there are free courses available by Udacity. So it's known as product design. So I'm just adding it in comments. Product design by Udacity and Aquant Gymnasium UX fundamentals. So if they just Google these things, they would get the course. Okay. So yeah, UX Planet blog, and you also have a course on Introduction to Design of Everyday Things. So that's also a free course by Udacity, which you can take to explore whether design is a career that would help you. Okay. I think that's it. So if you have any doubts, you can reach out to me. And I also have an Instagram page where I used to post design. So I have posted the handle here in comments. And you can also reach me in my mail, growwithmanoj@gmail.com.
Yeah,
Okay,
thanks for
thank
that.
you everyone.
Yeah, I think I want to, and my entire girl script team have to much thankful for you. Thanks for giving us an awesome talk to this great Sunday evening. I think I have given all the resources given by the Manoj to the comment section. If you guys have any related to the blogs, websites, and you guys can reach out straight to the Manoj using his website, glowwithmanoj@gmail.com. I have given all the details regarding his content in the comment, so you guys can continue over those things. I think it's a time we can end this session. Okay guys, let's I think again I can say you guys bye bye, fine. Okay, have a awesome Sunday, bye.
Thanks everyone. Yeah.